Whatever happened to the shy teenager who made Simon Cowell drop his jaw? That's the question echoing across the internet this month as fans rediscovered Jonathan Antoine, the once timid 17-year-old who blew up Britain's Got Talent in 2012 with a voice that sounded like it came straight from the heavens, or at least from an opera house with good acoustics. Back then, Jonathan wasn't your typical pop act. He didn't strut on stage, he shuffled. He didn't belt chart hits, he unleashed Vree. And yet, the crowd went absolutely nuts. Over a decade later, viewers who first watched him standing nervously beside Charlotte Jaconelli are now scrolling through TikTok asking, wait, where did this guy go? Spoiler alert, he didn't vanish, he evolved. But not in the flashy, paparazzi kind of way. Jonathan took the scenic route. Think less Hollywood Boulevard, more quiet countryside with a symphony playing in the background. And while Simon Cowell may have been the first to spot his talent, even he probably didn't predict the twists that would follow. Because Jonathan's journey from stage fright to stage legend is a story that's part opera, part Netflix comeback special, and it's only getting more interesting. The duo that captivated a nation. Every legend starts with a partnership, the reporter voice says, and for Jonathan, that meant Charlotte Jaconelli, his school friend turned musical ally. Together, Jonathan and Charlotte became Britain's newest obsession. They didn't win BGT, but who cared? They won something bigger, a record deal from Psycho Music, a fan base that treated them like royalty, and the nickname Britain's Sweethearts of classical crossover. Their first album together hit the charts in 2012, followed by Perhaps Love in 2013. But here's where things got juicy. Rumor had it, behind the sweet duets and perfectly harmonized notes, creative tension started bubbling. It wasn't drama per se, more like creative growing pains. Jonathan wanted to push deeper into opera and classical work, while Charlotte leaned toward musical theater and contemporary ballads. Eventually, they split amicably. Tabloids called it a musical divorce. Jonathan called it just evolution. And honestly, if breakups sounded like Puccini arias, we'd all probably handle them better. The world waited to see if Jonathan could stand alone without the duet safety net. The answer? Reinvention, the tenor who found his own voice. When the stage lights fade, the real story begins. For Jonathan, the years after BGT were less red carpets and more recording studios. In 2014, he released Tenore, his debut solo album, and the critics were floored. The shy teen had turned into a powerhouse tenor with the emotional depth of someone twice his age. The album shot to #1 on the classical charts faster than you can say Pavarotti 2.0. But Jonathan wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing perfection. While other talent show alumni were jumping onto reality TV spin-offs or perfume deals, Jonathan was studying technique, collaborating with orchestras, and performing in cathedrals instead of nightclubs. It wasn't glamorous, but it was authentic. Fans noticed the glow-up, both vocally and personally. Gone was the timid boy from BGT. In his place stood a confident artist who had learned that sometimes quiet determination makes louder noise than fame ever could. Oh, and his hair got more fabulous too. Seriously, even shampoo brands were jealous. The album that changed everything. If Tenore was the introduction, Believe was the manifesto. Released in 2016, this album wasn't just music, it was a statement of identity. Jonathan had found his lane, cinematic crossover. The kind of music that gives you goosebumps and makes you check if someone's chopping onions nearby. Tracks like Dolce Vita and La Prima Volta showed emotional range that could melt even the most stoic hearts. But what fans loved most was how he used his platform. Jonathan spoke openly about body image, anxiety, and self-doubt, topics rarely discussed in the classical world. "I'm not just a voice," he told BBC Radio. "I'm a person who had to believe in that voice first." It resonated deeply. People saw themselves in his vulnerability, not just his vibrato. Suddenly, Jonathan Antoine wasn't just Britain's opera prodigy, he was its unlikely going the distance, the pandemic reinvention. When the world stopped, Jonathan kept singing. In 2020, while most of us were panic buying toilet paper and sourdough starters, Jonathan released Going the Distance, a timely blend of hope, courage, and orchestral excellence. Recorded partly during lockdown, it was less about showing off and more about showing heart. He performed virtual concerts for charity, dropped YouTube performances that racked up millions of views, and even joked on Twitter about finally learning how Zoom mics hate tenors. The humor made him relatable. The music made him unforgettable. Fans stuck at home called his songs a light in the noise. Even critics who once dismissed him as just another talent show star admitted he had become a full-fledged artist. If there was a soundtrack for resilience, Jonathan wrote it during COVID. And as the applause echoed through computer screens worldwide, one thing was clear: he wasn't done going the distance. The quiet years, behind the curtain, 2021 to 2023. Silence isn't absence, it's incubation. That's what a source close to Jonathan once said when fans worried he'd gone off the radar. Between 2021 and 2023, Jonathan Antoine wasn't trending, but he was transforming. No flashy red carpets, no viral performances, just occasional Instagram posts about music, mindfulness, and the occasional pizza. Some speculated he'd retired early. Others claimed he was secretly recording in Italy. The truth? He was refining his craft and exploring new directions, possibly even film soundtracks. His team played coy, but insiders whispered about collaborations brewing in both the UK and LA circles. And honestly, good for him. Sometimes the best move is the one no one sees coming. Because when Jonathan disappears, history shows he usually reemerges with a
Return of the Tenor, 2024's quiet comeback. Blink, and you might have missed it. 2024 saw Jonathan reappear not with fireworks, but with finesse. Subtle Instagram teasers, collaborations with Helmut Lotti, and studio photos hinting at new projects. It wasn't an official comeback, but it was a quiet reminder. The voice that silenced arenas still exists, and it's evolving. He shared snippets of new songs, including one rumored to be co-written with legendary songwriter Diane Warren. Fans lost their minds, comment sections exploded, and suddenly, classical crossover felt cool again. In interviews, he talked about gratitude, growth, and, of course, good food. "I'm still the same guy," he joked, just with better Wi-Fi and better breath control. The man had jokes and pipes. The combination made him more magnetic than ever. The industry reacts, from underdog to benchmark. It's rare for the industry to admit it was wrong, but it kind of did. Critics who once labeled Jonathan as too niche were suddenly referencing him as a gold standard for crossover authenticity. Streaming platforms added his tracks to curated playlists like Epic Voices and Modern Tenors. He even started appearing in reaction videos from younger singers, calling him the OG crossover king. The transformation was complete, from underdog contestant to mentor figure. Ironically, in an era where many chase viral fame, Jonathan earned longevity the old-fashioned way, through talent and consistency. And if you're wondering whether he still gets nervous before performing, he once joked in an interview, "Of course, I'm British, it's part of the culture." That's humility and branding rolled into one. The mystery of what's next: rumors, projects, and hope. So, what's next for Jonathan Antoine? That's the million-note question. Sources close to his label hint at an upcoming 2026 project blending orchestral pop with cinematic storytelling. Think Andrea Bocelli meets Hans Zimmer, but with more hair volume. He's been spotted at Abbey Road Studios and dropping cryptic emojis on X, Twitter for us mortals. Some fans predict a documentary, others an album titled Reborn. Nothing's confirmed, and that's part of the fun. He's managed to make mystery his marketing strategy, which, let's be real, is genius in the attention economy. One cryptic post and suddenly classical Twitter thinks he's reviving the Phantom of the Opera. Whether it's a concert film or a new musical era, one thing's clear: Jonathan Antoine isn't fading, he's recalibrating. The legacy, from BGT boy to timeless tenor. Not every talent show star fades into obscurity, some rewrite the script. Jonathan Antoine's story is proof that fame earned young doesn't have to burn out fast. He turned vulnerability into virtue, discipline into artistry, and a teenage audition into a lifelong career. Over a decade later, he's still inspiring new singers to find strength in imperfection. He's not the loudest celebrity in the room, but often he's the one everyone ends up talking about afterward. And maybe that's his secret. In 2012, he sang to prove himself.
In 2025, he sings because he already has. So, where is Jonathan Antoine now? Right where he belongs, making music that outlasts applause. And if you listen closely, you can still hear that BGT echo, a shy teenager who opened his mouth and changed everything.